do you start a new school year? One of the things I loved the most as a teacher was that each year I got a fresh start with new students. It's the perfect time to rethink your teaching and to focus on things that didn't work so well in the past. It's also the time where you should explicitly teach your rules, guidelines, structures, and expectations to your students. I'd like to share the Achieve and Score routines with you. These routines establish clear expectations for your students and build their collaborative skills for working in teams. The routines fit within a tiered lesson framework that includes lessons on personal responsibility, lessons on respectful discourse, and finally, lessons on collaborative problem solving. Let's start with Achieve, a classroom management strategy that teaches personal responsibility. This is the foundation for group work and activities in your classroom. The Achieve expectations are A, activity. What activity will your students be doing? C, conversation. Can students talk? If so, with whom? And for how long? H, help. How will students get help, ask questions, get teachers' attention? I, integrity. When should students do their own work? When can they collaborate? E, effort. What does appropriate work behavior look like? V, value. How will participation be of value? How will effort contribute to success? E, efficiency. How will students get maximum benefit from the activity? By adding the elements of integrity and value, students become a trustworthy and credible member of their learning community. Let's walk through the Achieve process. First, our activity is going to be placing students into small discussion groups. Second, for conversation expectations, we'll tell them provide information when called on by the group leader, use pleasant sounds and expressions, and maintain eye contact while talking. These are part of your SCORE skills, which we'll talk about later in this video. Third, you'll teach your students how to ask for help. They can do this by establishing a group leader to ask questions to. That group leader can then ask the teacher your group's question. Integrity, actively participating as a student and as the teacher. We'll go over effort and what appropriate work behavior looks like. This is when you'll show students how to be respectful, supportive, and non-judgmental. You're going to be teaching about value. Value is getting ready for the assignment by having all necessary materials and resources ready for the group activity before it even begins. Finally, you'll establish efficiency. Don't waste time. Keep the activity moving smoothly. Remember, practice makes perfect, so practice efficiency. All right, we showed how to set up the Achieve expectations for a small group activity. Let's look at another activity, paired practice. First, we define our activity, paired practice. Next, we'll establish our conversation rules. Talking with each other to ask a question or do a task again. Help, ask your partner. If question is urgent, stand silently next to the teacher and then wait. Integrity, actively participating as a student and as the teacher, providing your partner with honest and positive feedback. Effort, sitting up, paying active attention, being respectful, supportive, and non-judgmental in giving feedback, and keeping that feedback confidential. Value, prepare for the game. The game is teacher conversing, assessments, reading. Efficiency, practice makes perfect. Don't waste time between tasks. The basic beliefs of Achieve are that closely teaching classroom structures and expectations have a huge impact on student learning. This is supported by John Hattie's research showing a nearly 2 times increase in student growth with teacher clarity. Teachers should carefully structure classrooms in ways that prompt responsible behavior. If teachers overtly teach students how to behave responsibly, then students will be more successful in every classroom situation. Once you've introduced Achieve and practiced your expectations for their behavior, you now extend that responsible behavior to their talking to their classmates in pairs and in teams. Now, how do we build a learning community with respectful discourse using SCORE with C? Start by having your students think about their definition for social skills. Have them brainstorm in pairs or in groups what they believe social skills are, then come up with a common definition together as a class. The definition of social skills that I use is behaviors that help an individual to interact successfully with another person or group of people. With this definition in mind, have them brainstorm what behaviors they would like their classmates to use in their work together. What social skills would be critical for them to be successful? After we've established our definition of social skills, we'll teach them the C expectations. S, sound. How does your voice and tone communicate your feelings during an activity? E, expression. How does your facial expressions and body language communicate your feelings during an activity? E, I. How does eye contact or lack thereof show your level of participation or interest to another person? After establishing and practicing the C expectations with your students, you can introduce SCORE. SCORE stands for sharing ideas, compliment others, offering help or encouragement, recommending changes nicely, exercising self-control. Now that we've introduced both SCORE and C, we can practice those skills by splitting our class into partners. Have partner A make a general statement to partner B like, my favorite food is because. Then partner B says, I agree or disagree because, giving them their individual reason why. During this activity, monitor your students to make sure they're following the SCORE and C expectations you've established. At the end of guided individual practice with partners, they can use the checklist to reflect on whether they used all of the SCORE skills. This does not have to take the whole class period. You could have this as a warm-up or closing activity. When we teach the Achieve expectations and SCORE social skills, we are developing a strong teacher-student relationship. We are creating a safe learning environment where all students can learn, a place where the teachers and the students are all learners together. We know student-teacher relationships fuel learning. John Hattie's analysis research about student-teacher relationships reveals an effect size of 0.072, nearly double the speed of learning. With the Achieve behavior guidelines and SCORE social skills, you establish a stronger foundation for personal responsibility and respectful talk in the classroom.